Hi everyone, my name is Paulette and I'm one half of Discover Barranquilla. We recently launched an informative video series for anyone who's thinking about living or traveling to Barranquilla. So for today's video, we're going to be discussing Barranquilla's biggest and most popular event, which is the Carnaval de Barranquilla, or in English, the Barranquilla Carnival. The carnival always takes place 40 days before Easter, which is why the date changes every year, and it's usually in February or March of every year. The carnival in Barranquilla takes place at the same time as most carnivals around the world. If you look up carnival calendars, you'll see that they all take place at about the same time, including the one in Rio in Brazil, which this year I believe is March 1 to 8. So let's quickly get into the brief history of the carnival. Like most carnivals around the world, the Barranquilla Carnival was brought to the New World by European settlers during the colonization period. The very first mention of the Barranquilla Carnival is actually in a letter from an American citizen who was in town back in 1829, and the letter, I believe, was addressed to either a family member or a friend, and based on historical records, that's the first mention of the carnival. The first organizing carnival committee, I believe, took place in about 1908, and nowadays the carnival is a fully incorporated company, and they organized almost all of the pre-carnival and carnival events that take place in the city. So let's get into a few of the pre-carnival events. Although most people come to the city for the big 4-day carnival weekend, there's actually numerous events that take place in the 4 to 6 week time span before the carnival, and this is called the pre-carnival season. The very first event that takes place during the pre-carnival season is called La Lectura del Bando, and this is the official kickoff of the pre-carnival season in Barranquilla. This event usually takes place at the Romelio Martinez Stadium and is presided over by the Carnival Queen. She reads her proclamation out to all of the attendees at the stadium, and with that proclamation, she officially opens the pre-carnival season in Barranquilla. The next really popular pre-carnival event is La Guacherna. La Guacherna is a very popular nighttime pre-carnival event that usually takes place on the Friday of the week before the actual carnival, except this year it's going to take place on Saturday, February 22nd, because on Friday, February 21st, superstar Shakira is having a concert here in Barranquilla, which is also my birthday, and I will be attending. So if you want to come find me, you can come find me at the concert. La Guacherna is, like I mentioned, a super popular event. It's a nighttime parade, takes place in the street. The parade, people wear very bright, colorful outfits, usually involving LED lights and just other bright and colorful costumes that can be seen at night. Of note, there's also a gay Guacherna. So if you're part of the LGBT community or you're not and you simply want to go to the parade, the gay Guacherna, which also takes place at night, will be on Friday, February 14th, taking place here in Barranquilla. And the last pre-carnival event I'm going to mention is the coronation of the Carnival Queen. This event takes place literally the night before the actual carnival. So it's the Friday night before. This year it'll be on Friday, February 28th, 2025. The coronation of the Carnival Queen will take place at the Romelio Martinez Stadium. And this is the event where the Queen is literally crowned with an actual crown on stage. The Queen is usually picked, well, always picked rather, by the Carnival Committee. Normally about 9 or 10 candidates apply for the position. The Queen is always from a wealthy and well-known family in the city, and the reason for this is because it's actually very expensive to be the Carnival Queen. So although the carnival gives the Queen some funds during her, what do you call it when you're a queen? Like, while she's reigning, presiding, over the festivities, most of the expenses are actually covered by the Queen's family. For example, the night of the coronation, the Queen's dress can cost about 30 million pesos, or in dollars, this would be upwards of about $7,000 for the one dress for the one night. Usually the Carnival Queen has to get dozens and dozens of custom made dresses, which are usually normal Colombian, or rather traditional Colombian style dresses. And the family covers all of this. And this is why the Queen is always from a very wealthy family, going back generations in Barranquilla. Like I mentioned, the event will be taking place Friday, February 28th at the Romelio Martinez Stadium. And this year, the invited superstar singer will be Maluma. So before we get into Carnival weekend, let's talk a little bit about the Carnival characters that you're going to see when you come to the Barranquilla Carnival. So probably the most well-known Carnival character is called the Marimonda. The Marimonda is a character that basically the person wears sort of like a sack-looking thing on their heads. Their nose is a long phallic shape. They usually wear their pants, they're like bright backwards pants with a vest and a tie. You'll see them around often. They also have a special Marimonda dance where they kind of cross their hands like this and go like this over their heads. And they usually sit down and scoot on the floor. You'll see it once you come to the carnival. So the next character is El Congo. El Congo is a character that is believed to have originated around Cartagena by the slaves. This character is a warlike character. People during the parades usually link arms and they do a warlike dance. The costume involves wearing a very tall headdress with a cape that flows down to the ground. The men usually wear machetes and bright satin clothing. The next character that's also very popular is called Las Negritas Puloy. This character is actually of Venezuelan origin. It was basically a detergent brand commercial that became popularized. The character usually wears a red dress with white polka dots, including a matching headband and an umbrella. If you look at the character, you'll notice the very strong resemblance to Minnie Mouse. So if you see some women walking around in Minnie Mouse type dresses, they're actually not Minnie Mouse, they're called Negritas Puloy. So now you're probably wondering, well, what should I wear to the carnival? Easy. Take a look at my outfit. These headbands are usually pretty popular. You'll find them everywhere if you go to the mall. There are usually numerous kiosks with people selling all kinds of carnival gear, including headbands, hair clips, ponytail, hair ties that include ribbons and braids. In my case, I'm also wearing some carnival earrings. This is another character of the carnival called a monocuco. I forget why it's called that, but mono is in the word, so it has something to do with a monkey, I believe. You'll see lots of these very large carnival earrings. I recommend maybe getting one. And also you can't go to the carnival without a carnival shirt. Mine has also a few characters from the carnival, including the Marimonda that we were just discussing earlier. So if you wanted to see a picture, this is what it looks like. Also, if you're going as a couple, a fun thing that couples do is that they'll wear matching shirts or t-shirts. So if you're going to the carnival, it's not required, but like I said, it's something fun to do. So now let's get into Carnival weekend. The very first event to kick off Carnival weekend on Carnival Saturday is called La Batalla de Flores, or in English, the Battle of the Flowers. This parade rather, includes lots of large floats, and you'll notice that most of the floats, if not all of the floats, are decorated and adorned with different types of flowers, which is why it's called the Battle of the Flowers, because you'll see different types of arrangements. The Queen will also have her very special large float with lots of flower arrangement, and she'll be wearing the same dress that she wore for the night before for the coronation, and along with her crown. Although the carnival is technically free to see, if you want to sit in the grandstands or bleachers, like we would say in the US, you do need to get tickets. Tickets are required to sit in the grandstands or bleachers. If you can find your way maybe across to the other side of the street, where there are sometimes white plastic chairs, and if you get there early enough, this is important, you might be able to maybe rent the chair across the street for a few bucks. Otherwise, you do need to get tickets beforehand, especially for Carnival Saturday. This is the biggest parade of all the parades for the 4-day weekend. And it's also the most expensive day to go. Remember, there's going to be many, many people, lots of drinking, and a lot of white powder being thrown around, which is called maicena, and it's not what you're thinking, but it's also really popular to be used. It's basically just cornstarch that people are throwing around. Most likely, you will definitely get dirty with some cornstarch and also some spray that people like to throw around. So just remember that. Don't wear anything super expensive because you're definitely going to get dirty while you're at the carnival. So the second day of the carnival, Carnival Sunday, is called La Gran Parada de Tradición y Folklore, which is basically the Grand Parade of Tradition and Folklore. This parade is focused on the traditional dances of Colombia. Most of the parade groups will include cumbia dances, which is the national dance of Colombia, but you'll also get to see some other dances from around the country. This includes mapele, which is an African-based type dance, which you'll see on the coast, merecumbe, porro, which is another dance that is from the interior of the country, and you'll get to experience the different types of national dances around Colombia. I'm not the biggest fan of this parade. I think it's a little boring because if you've seen one cumbia group, you've seen them all, but it's still really nice if you want to see the different dances that Colombia has to offer. Same thing as the Saturday parade. If you want to sit in the grandstands and bleachers, you do need tickets in advance. But the Sunday parade is usually more affordable than the Saturday parade. So the third day of the parade, Carnival Monday, is my favorite parade, and this one is La Gran Parada de Comparsas de Fantasía, or the Grand Parade of Fantasy Dance Groups. This parade includes a lot of lively dance groups during the parade. This parade is the one where everyone's wearing really colorful feathers and skimpy outfits, and everyone looks amazing, and all of the dances are really fun. I think this is the most fun parade out of the 3 days, although the Saturday parade is the most popular one that everyone likes to go to, and it's also really fun. My favorite one is the Monday parade. So I would recommend that if you don't have a lot of time and you want to go to one of the parades, definitely go to the Monday parade. And it's also the most affordable one. Sometimes you can actually just rock up right on the street and buy a ticket from one of the resellers that are standing right outside of the carnival palcos. So like I said, this one's my favorite. Definitely don't overlook it. You'll have a good time. Now, the fourth day of the parade, or Carnival Tuesday, does not take place on Via 40 or Via 40, where the first 3 days of the parade take place. This one actually takes place in a different part of the city. There's actually 2 parades on Carnival Tuesday. The first one usually takes place on Carrera 84, which is the one that I went to last year. And then the last parade of the day, which is at about 4 p.m., takes place near Barrio Abajo, which is a more traditional neighborhood of the city. The last parade is called Joselito se va con las cenizas, or Joselito's off with the ashes. The reason the parade is called this is because Joselito is basically the personification of the parade. So if you can imagine that the parade is a person, Joselito would be the person. And the history goes that Joselito starts partying on the first day of the parade, which would be Carnival Saturday. He parties and drinks so much that he ends up dying on Carnival Tuesday. And what happens on Carnival Tuesday is that the carnival queen, she mourns the death of Joselito. So he partied so much and so hard that he dies on Carnival Tuesday. And the queen and other queens that join the parade mourn and wail his death throughout the entire course of the parade. It's actually, it sounds bad, but it's actually really funny because basically there's a guy who's supposed to be Joselito. They throw him like on a stretcher and they roll him down the parade route. They just roll him down the whole parade route while the queen is screaming and wailing, but in a funny way. You have to imagine it, or you can, I guess, maybe look up a picture or video. And you're supposed to also wear black and help the queen scream and wail the loss of her Joselito. The funny part is that Joselito is also a drunkard and a womanizer. So he basically leaves behind a bunch of widows and about 30 babies. And the funny thing is that the widows also join the carnival queen in wailing his death. So again, it's just supposed to be a joke. It's funny, not to be taken seriously. It's also really fun. Like I said, it's not on the Via 40. It's on in the traditional barrio of Barranquilla. But if you have the chance to go, it's also a good time if you just want to laugh it out on the last day of the carnival. Now, for the last segment, let's get into a few do's and don'ts for the carnival. I'm going to start you off with the don'ts. Please don't bring your passport, your ID, every single credit card that you own, every single bill of cash that you have, everything that you own to the carnival. Please only bring what's necessary. So what would be considered necessary? Maybe bring just one ID card. With your passport, honestly, leave your passport in your hotel, your apartment, and bring a photocopy of it. I would recommend your photocopy and maybe your physical ID card from your state or your home country, okay? Bring as much cash as you think you'll need. The gentlemen that sell beer and street food do not accept credit cards. Please bring enough cash with you so that you can pay for your beer, you can pay for your food, you can pay for your taxi ride home. Don't bring any beer, any water, or any liquids with you. You are not allowed to enter the palcos with any liquids or any outside food or anything. They will be taken away from you and they'll be thrown in the garbage if you bring any outside beverages with you. So this one's probably gonna be a funny one. Don't wear a belt. Yes, a belt. Why can't you wear a belt? The reason you can't wear a belt is because in the past, some people have had maybe a little too much to drink and they will take their belt off and use it as a weapon. So I remember a few years ago, me and my friend and her husband, we all went to the carnival together. He forgot, and he was Colombian, he forgot that he wasn't supposed to be wearing a belt. He was wearing a leather belt. He had to take it off. There is a belt table right at the entrance when you're going in. If you wear a belt, you will have to take it off, roll it up, and leave it on the belt table. Now, will the belt be there when you come back? Maybe, maybe not. But if you have an expensive, shiny leather belt, keep it at home. Just leave it at home because you'll have to take it off. In my friend's husband's case, when we were leaving the carnival, we thought the belt would be gone. But actually, amazingly enough, the belt was right there on the table and he got to take his belt back with him. So it all worked out. Also, don't wear any fancy or flashy jewelry, any fancy watches, or any other thing that you would hate to lose. Sometimes robberies do occur at the carnival. Make sure you keep your phone with you at all times, keep it in a safe pocket, and keep all of your fancy jewelry and watches at home. Also, don't be afraid to get a little maicena, which is cornstarch, thrown on you, and some spray foam thrown on you. It is very, very common for people to have these items on the palcos at the carnival. There is a 99% chance that you will get hit with them. Don't worry about it. You can just wash your clothing once you get home. Now, let's get into the do's. Do remember to buy your palco carnival tickets well in advance. Please don't wait until the day before or even the day of to try and get a palco ticket, although there will usually be resellers and scalpers outside of the palcos trying to sell you a ticket. One, the ticket might be fake, and two, even if it's real, you're going to be paying a lot of money to get into the palco on Carnival Saturday. If you need palco tickets, please get in touch with us. We have a special partner who offers tickets, and we can get you a ticket well in advance, so make sure that you're planning this out well. Do remember to get to the parade early. If the parade on Saturday starts at 11 a.m., don't show up at 11 a.m. You really need to be there at least a couple of hours in advance to make sure you secure a good spot on the palco. One thing to note, there are no assigned seats on the palco. You sit wherever there's a spot, okay? So just remember that going into the parade. Do remember to wear sunscreen, sunblock, mosquito repellent. Although on the palcos, you will be covered by a special black mesh. Some sunlight will still get in, but if you're on the other side of the street where the sun hits directly, you're gonna end up getting burned if you're not wearing some type of skin protection like sunscreen or sunblock. Although we're not at the time of the year where there's lots of mosquitoes, I still recommend wearing some mosquito repellent. Also, only take a small bag with you to the carnival, perhaps a little cell phone bag, and only bring your essentials, your phone, maybe a credit card, some cash to buy some beverages and food with, and the keys to your apartment or your Airbnb. Lastly, remember to have a really good time. It's great fun, and we hope you really enjoy it. If you have any other questions for us, need to get tickets for the carnival, or have any other future suggestions for future content you'd like to see on our channel, make sure you check the description below to get our contact information. Also, we're going to leave you a link to our carnival article, which you can definitely keep and read as often as you like to learn more about the carnival and the future dates. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications down on the bottom. Thanks again, guys, for your support, and we hope to see you again soon.